right, Dad. So I think often when people meet us, like Sharon and I will go to legal events, and Brandon as well, right? We'll go together, and people will find out that, we're siblings, the three of us, and we're all attorneys. First thing they say, oh, your parents must be attorneys, right? And I love being able to say, no, they're not, because I think that's an amazing reflection of you guys and the work that you did in placing us in the best positions possible and encouraging us along our educational journey of making tremendous sacrifices and everything that you guys, you and Mom, have taught us. So, we wanted to take this time to do a couple of things. One, I know I'm biased, right? But you're the greatest man that I know.
You are not biased.
People, I tell folks, and it's true that you and I are best friends. And I think I told this story previously on another podcast, but that really started, I think, when you went from father to friends, in addition to father, right? When we did I had to go work with you for a summer in 7th grade after I had misbehaved, and you basically took me to work the entire summer doing construction in the middle of summer outside to teach me a lesson.
It was fun.
Yeah. About, hey, do you want to do this for the rest of your life, or do you want to, study and work in an air-conditioned office? I chose the latter.
It was smart.
Yeah, no, it was brilliant. And, I think that's just one of the examples of I think so many great things that you did in our lives, you and Mom. And I think you've always been our dad. We've always been very we're together, all of our family, extended family, is in Guatemala, and it was just you and Mom and me that initially came here, and we didn't have family here, and so it was always really just us together. And you're our dad, you're ours, right? And you have amazing wisdom and insight to share, and just stories, never ending. I mean, we could talk all day and still not be done talking, right? And I think what we want to do is be able to. It's almost difficult to say, right? But to be able to share you with others as well, right? And for other people to hear your stories, some stories that I think most stories that I know, right? And maybe we'll uncover some new ones as well, and just share lessons and experiences that you've gone through, and whether it's in your individual life and in our life as well, as you were raising us, and you continue to help us nowadays, right? Now you're working here at the office, and you're helping together, along with Sharon, you, Mom, me, we're building a business. And it's super exciting to be doing it together. And you continue to help us and teach us and show us, and there's so much wisdom overflowing from you. And so just want to share you with others. And first, kind of start off this sort of podcast series with you, but people getting to know you a little bit more, right? People, I think, hear about you a lot, but maybe don't know you. So for everyone listening, viewers, this is our dad, my dad, Estuardo Ramirez. Estuardo Ramirez with an English accent, or Stuart, right? Dad, welcome.
Thank you, Kenny. If I go a little bit back, you were saying that people ask you guys if your dad is an attorney or your parents are attorneys. And I think I've been in a couple meetings with you guys, and same thing. People get close to us and he asks us, or me, are you an attorney? Right. And I always answer, I wish, but I am not. Yeah. Then the other question is, you must be really smart.
Then
I answer, I would like to think so, right?
Yeah. Humbly.
No ego.
Yeah, no ego. Dad, so thank you for being here. And as a part of sort of introducing you to everybody, wanted to start off with a little bit of your background. I know it, but I want you to share it. And maybe I'll start with, you were born in Guatemala, in the capital. Is where you were raised. Something very big happened really when you were 13 years old, right? And sort of changed your entire life and your family's life. And I think that's where, I think there are other lessons that happened earlier, but I think that's when sort of life really, the realities of life kind of hit you, right? And can you talk to us about when you were 13? Yeah.
Yeah, well, first of all, for the people that are from my country, I used to live in the what we call Zona 13.
Zone 13.
Yeah, it's near to the airport, and we would like to say that because that sounds nice, but actually we live in a place that is called Santa Fe, and in that time it wasn't that nice.
It wasn't that nice.
So yeah, I mean, at 13, when I was 13, my father died. Remember that I was in a institute. It's called Adolfo B. Hall, which is a like kind of army
Military
school. And my father died, so well, I couldn't keep going with that career, right? That I'm gonna pursue. And shocking that first thing, because I remember the first year when I had to stop study. Then my mother asked me, to help her. She couldn't support the family.
Yeah. And so how many of you were there right now?
It's my mom, me, and two other brothers.
You were the oldest of the brothers.
Yeah, I was the oldest.
13 years old. But
13 years old. Then I have another, it was 7 at the time. And the other one was like 2 years old. So
yeah, little kids.
Yeah, so it was...
I mean, you were a little kid, but they were even younger.
Yeah,
so
they were really young.
your mom asked you to help out and start working.
Yeah, that's not uncommon probably in my country, right? But
I mean, it's crazy and kind of ridiculous to think here in the States where we live, right? I mean, you're talking about 13-year-old, that's what, 7th, 8th grader, right? And we're not working. That's against the law, right? You wouldn't be put to work, period. Yeah. And that not only were you asked to, hey, chip in, but no, you got to go to work.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, you have to support this family now at 13 years old.
Yeah.
How did that feel? Do you remember that?
It sucked. No, honestly, I
love your honesty.
I wouldn't say, wow, I love it, right?
Yeah.
No, first of all, it was such a shocking thing because I have to go to work, but all my friends, they're going to school, right?
Yeah.
So I see them every morning, they're going to school. I have to go to work, right? So,
Jeez.
Yeah, it was tough in the beginning. But I think, looking back, I think we were blessed because we have home. That is, we have a house, or we can call it a house, right? But a lot of people don't. So, we have a few advantages, I think. One of the main things is that, the income, right? We need income. And my father, before he died, he was 35 years old. So, he was...
I'm 35 right now.
Yeah, he was young, Nobody think they're going to die at that age, right? So I think before he died, he was start to getting sick and he get a loans, So he got a loan on the house.
Oh, okay.
And, actually I need to work just to pay the interest of the loan. So, and I worked for a long time, a lot of years, just paying interest.
Jeez.
And just still have all the debt.
The actual debt.
Yeah. It's like we were renting, in our own home.
Yeah. You're just working to pay off the interest and nothing else.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know this, but it's still like, as we sit down and talk about it, it's just, and you put yourself in that place, you go like, how, and I love that and this is going to be a common thread throughout any discussions that we have on camera, off camera. This is just something, but now for everybody to see is that, how that was a horrible situation, right? You said it sucked, but your viewpoint was still, but we were blessed because like we had a place that we could call home. Now it wasn't anything fancy, but it was a roof over your head, right?
Yeah.
But that you saw that as your advantage, as a blessing, that, you know, you saw opportunity still, and that even as a 13-year-old who now has been given the weight of providing for his family, his mother and his siblings, that you saw blessings despite that. Despite how you might have felt also, because like you, that visual of like you going to work while your friends are like skipping and going to school, like that's, you know, heartbreaking. What were you working as? What was the job?
As ayudante de albañil, decimos in my country.
Albañil, what is albañil? That's
It's like masonry, you know.
Masonry.
Like,
okay. So like you were a helper in masonry,
yeah.
right? Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
I hate that.
you had an internship. You had an internship, paid internship.
Didn't like it.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. And so how long did you do that? You know, it's crazy that I have to ask this about a 13-year-old, but how long did you do that?
Yeah, it was, I think, a couple years. It's interesting because when you know the father die, you lose both parents because the mother has to go to work.
Yeah.
So you know, you lose both parents, you know, because now you don't have really mother, right?
You didn't see grandma at all.
No, you don't see your mother too, right?
Grandma, your mother.
Yeah, so it is tough in that sense, you know, because you're a kid, right? I mean, you still need to, but I think that help you start growing, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
you have no
you start
choice.
maturing. You don't have any choice, right? And yeah, I work in that. Until today, I try to avoid that kind of job.
Yeah.
Been there,
Yeah.
done that.
Yeah.
Didn't like it.
Yeah. We'll touch on this on some other episode, right? But like you made your way, you've done custom homes, you built homes here in the States. Like you do amazing work, but it's funny that you're like, yeah, I'm not going to touch that. We'll have somebody else do that.
Yeah. I think, you know, always think that I am blessed, or try to see, you know, the positive in things, even though maybe they don't occur immediately, right? Because I remember that one of the jobs that we were doing, it was, you know, like for a building, for una bodega, decimos nosotros. Warehouse, yes. And I remember that I used to see young guys, you know, they come and they start to weld the metals, you know, put the metals in place. And I said, wow, I think I kind of like that better, you know, than this thing.
The brickwork, yeah.
The brickwork. Then sometimes, you know, when we finish working, that crew asked me to help them, you know, help them, you know, pulling things, you know, and carrying things or holding things.
And that's extra work, by the way. It's not like it's fun, right? But the way that you took it.
Yeah, no, but I always thought, no, I would like to do this, you know.
Yeah.
Then down the road, I have the chance, a friend of mine, you know, a really dear friend of mine, and on that time, he was working in welding, so he asked, you know, in that place if they give me a chance to go and work there. So one night he came home and he said, you know what, you're gonna go to work with me tomorrow. Thank God.
Yeah.
Anything, you know.
Yeah.
So I
no
went
more
to,
bricks.
Yeah, I went to work with him, and he was really, really. I think that's probably the importance of mentor, right? Because he teach me. You know, he took me under his wing, really. You know, because again, maybe I was 14, 15, and he started to show me how to do it. You know, and when I mess it up, because I mess it up, usually he take the blame, you know, for it, or
That's cool.
he said, you know, no, I did it, you know, and so they don't fire me.
Yeah. What was his name?
Victor Hugo Rojas was his name. Yeah, He died already, but yeah, I'm very
Rest in
thankful,
peace.
to him, because
Yeah.
thanks to him, I learned that trade.
So now you've been able to graduate from paid intern in masonry to doing some welding. So were there other jobs? Because I know that you also like were setting up closets. Was that part of that?
Well, that was
When
the
did that start?
company, but
Yeah.
they make. I think they on the beginning they mostly do like tables, chairs,
Okay.
metal things, right?
Okay.
So then they start to developing that area that they do closets, and they call it closet al estilo americano.
American style.
Yeah.
That was the selling point.
That
That's
was the
awesome.
selling
You're
point,
like,
yeah.
oh, American closets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Made in Guatemala.
Just give me. Yeah, it's you in the bag, just like, yeah.
Stamp it.
Yeah. It's spelled wrong. USA.
Yeah.
So how old were you when that started?
Yeah, it must be like 15 years old, probably.
15 years old.
Yeah,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay, by now it's like a couple years. You've been working now. You are helping pay off the more interest just on the house.
Yeah, just interest at that point. Just interest.
You're helping take care of mom, of your brothers, your two little siblings who, they're just kids, little kids, even younger than you.
Yeah, they were young.
And so now, I love this story. And if you could tell us that story about you started doing closets, these American style closets, and how you were always, again, this mentality. And I think people can see now that in hearing you speak, how where and I get this sort of like mentality as well of like remaining positive, like looking ahead and looking for opportunities. And these are all things that I always say, but like I think if you all want to see where that comes from, then you got, and then there it is, right? My dad and my mom. So can you tell us that story about you beginning to work in these closets and looking for efficiencies at all times? Like you're not satisfied just with like going there and doing a job. You were always looking to be better, even if it wasn't it seemed isolated sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I think it starts with the point that we have the loan. And, I start to think, like,
Okay.
this doesn't make sense, like we're paying just interest. So I need to see a way to pay this thing.
Yeah.
But how I gonna do it, right? I mean, then I think my mind start to work in a way that, how can I make more money? But it wasn't really because I want more money,
Right.
It's just that, we have to pay this thing, right? This
Family
thing is
has this
killing me,
loan,
It's years working and for nothing,
For nothing.
So
because you still have the actual principle.
exactly. So I start to think and develop, I think, that mentality that I need to make more money, and instead of ask for a raise, well, I was looking always the way to work for contract, right? So just give me contract,
Okay. And why was that something that you wanted? Can you explain? Like contract work versus like hourly?
Because then I can make more money, right?
Because hourly, you're just getting paid by the hour that you're there, and it's a fixed amount, right? But the way you were looking at it was, if I do contract-based work, then people are paying me for the job that I'm going to do. If I do it quicker, I still get the same amount of money. You're not skimping on the quality, but hey, if I can do this quicker, then I can do 2 of these or 3 of these in a day and make much more money than if you were just paying me hourly, even at a modest raise or whatever, right? So for you were looking at it like, okay, no, I need to be faster. I need to be quicker. I need to be better even in quality. Give me contract work, pay me for what I do and what I know. I don't want to just collect a check.
Exactly. And so I start to think in ways that how to do things more efficient, right? And what I was a kid, but it occurred to me to make moldes.
Yeah, so like molds.
Yeah, where I can, cut all the material, like cut all the material at the same dimension and place everything in that thing and just weld everything. So I start to make
You were
3-4 times more than what I used to do a day.
Yeah.
So think they pay me like $10 a day, or $10. I wish. 10 quetzales a day. So yeah, I start to do like
2 pennies. I'm just kidding.
I start to make like 30, 40 a day. I mean, a day. So, but again, everything starts from that mentality, right? That I need to make more, and they're not gonna give me more money just if I ask, listen, I have a problem, give me more money, right? Nobody's gonna do that. So my mind works, and I have to produce more, right? And that's what I start to do, and just think in ways, and then my mind, I think, start to think in ways that how to be productive, how to make things faster, how to make things better, like. Then I think I have told you guys the thing that we use cordless now, right? Things to screw things.
Right. So like for everybody, it's like everybody has these, right? Like your dad has this, maybe perhaps mom, if she's like a handy person, is just like, it's the cordless. It's that you can screw stuff on, but it's electronic, it's electric rather, and it's battery powered, and you can just screw things on. You don't need the screwdriver and be turning it, right? So that now is very common, and maybe as of a couple of decades ago, but when you were in Guatemala, that didn't exist.
It didn't exist.
So then you were looking to be more efficient, more effective. So what did you do?
Yeah. So it occurs to me that because that was a big part of the whole process, we go to the houses and we install these American closets. But it was a lot of screwing, a lot of screws. So it occurred to me to get a drill and cut a screwdriver, put the the tip on the. Then we start to do it super quick, right? Yeah. So it was the point that we were doing.
So you created the cordless.
Yeah.
So I
didn't patent it.
Yeah, you didn't patent it. What's likely what happened was this like American businessman that was visiting Guatemala was like, hey, that's a good idea, kid. Come over here and DeWalt. So selling it. That I just think that's really cool because, again, you were looking for how to be more efficient. How do I produce more? How do I do more, right? And you created this tool that helped you.
Yeah. Because if you think, it was like almost 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So it was nothing like that in the market, right? I mean, but I in that point, I think it's just have to make it faster, right? I didn't pay attention in the tool itself, it just, that was a way to make it faster.
Yeah.
So, now that I think, I said, wow, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Who's creative with this thing?
I think, a story like that, for example, it's a story that I've known since I was a little kid. And often a lot of things that happen in my life, I think about, you and mom and stories and the lessons that we extract from those and how I can implement them in my own lives, right? So I think that idea of how do I produce more so that I can make more has always kind of remained in me, right? As opposed to, and there's nothing wrong with asking for a raise. Sometimes it's necessary, and you absolutely. But I think my mind has always tracked towards like, how do I make it sort of not unavoidable, but how do I make it so that this is the complete right answer, or just create more, produce more to make more, period. And I think about like, beginning to work at the law firm where I first did right out of law school. And it was always like, how do I do more, right? Even if I wasn't getting paid more, right? Yeah, how do I just do more, produce more, and make myself as invaluable as I can to the firm, to the organization, wherever. I think I track many of those things to like a story like this, for example.
Yeah, it's funny because I remember that had an accident when at that time, so I didn't went to work right for I broke my foot, so.
So when you were 15.
Yeah, so it was like I don't know, like 3-4 months that I didn't went to work, right? And in that period, they changed the CFO of the company, right? So the new CFO, they start to get a lot of work, and he was worried, how we're gonna, we need to hire more people. And the owner used to tell him, well, they told me later, right? Oh wait, there's gonna come a kid, that
it's gonna take care of that.
just wait, and this guy was no, you crazy, we need to hire more people, and finally I get to the job, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm way behind in money, because I didn't work all those time.
There's no unemployment benefits at that in Guatemala at that time.
Yeah, I think there is, but they give you a third. So if I make 10 quetzales, they were giving me like 350, that's nothing. The 10 was not enough already.
Yeah.
So I think it was a month. In 1 month, we finished everything. And I was like, well, where's the rest? That's it.
Yeah.
No more.
Yeah.
Because I was determined to. I was producing at that time 3 times more than anybody else.
Yeah.
And they tried to copy things, and they tried to do, but they just have the will and the drive, to do it.
Yeah.
And it was funny because he told me later, he told me that he was telling and he couldn't. He told me, and I don't believe him, until I see you, it's funny. But that's my thing. Then it's interesting because in my country it's not that common, to work for contract. Most of the people work for day, right? But just the need that I have, that I need to try to produce more. Then, of course, eventually we pay the loan and everything, but that stay with me, right? Like, let's just keep going, just do more. Let's be efficient, let's, I always probably pay attention on those things, right? Like, why we're going to do it, in a different way if can be more efficient, right?
Yeah.
I think that's... and I thank God, for that experience, because again, at the moment, I think it's not fun, it's not nice, but we see it in long run, it's something that have blessed me all my life. Because any place that I go to work, even I can start even as a laborer, and really quick,
you make it
yes, people start to give me more responsibilities. Usually I end up in charge of big things in really short time, But I think it's has a lot to do with the attitude, right? But it's already in me, It's not that I am trying, or it's just already that I think it was that period of my life, right, that changed my character, probably, in that sense.
Yeah, I think it's your combination of. You said you had the will and the drive, and what I see also is that you had a higher reason for doing what you were doing, right? You had a family at 13, at 15 years old that you needed to take care of. Your brothers and your mother, right? And that like just pushed you. And so we won't have time on this episode, but we'll get to it eventually, just how that has been a common thing in your life, like a common thread, right? And when I think about you, I'm always so amazed, and I respect so much that you have been carrying the weight of a family on your shoulders since you were 13 years old. You are now 55 years old, and you've done that for all those years straight, right? Whether it was your mom and your siblings, then your wife, my mom, comes along, and I'm born a year later, and now it's this family that I need to take care of. And then we make the jump to the United States, right? And that starts an entirely different sort of journey and saga, one filled with, highs, lows, valleys, mountains, happiness, difficult times, all always exciting though.
Yeah, it's been a fun ride.
It's been a fun ride, and it continues.
Yes.
Right, and we're on a new journey together, and so excited about that. And think we're going to close off our time here for this inaugural episode. I think for everybody, Dad, thank you so much for doing this. Also, by the way, my dad thought that we were going to do this in Spanish, so I like sprung it on him like 10 seconds before we started that it was going to be in English.
Yeah. And next one is going to be in Spanish, but ya se me acabó el
English. Yeah, because his dad ran out of English words. No, we knew that you'd do that well, and you did. So thank you for being a good sport, Dad, and for being willing to do this. Yeah, for everything you do for us and continue to do for us as well. And for everybody listening, please comment. Please tell us what you think, what else you'd like to hear. We're going to kind of keep going through this journey and share many more things. We've always been, I think I mentioned this when we started, a very quiet, sort of private family. Yeah, I'll finish off with this, is that, growing up, again, we were just kind of here on our own, right? And we did everything together. It was always cool seeing people who have these big families, right? Mm-hmm. There was, uncles, aunts, cousins, grandparents everywhere. And, for us, it was always just us, right? The 6 of us. It was cool when it was only the 3 of us, but then, no, I'm just kidding, guys. the 6 of us. And we've grown up together. We did everything together. When we would go out on the weekends to some place or movies, we did movies a lot and we love movies, but church all the time together, at home together, anything and everywhere we always did together. And we never, did very much with others, not because we're like, we don't like, it's just, we just got so used to and love being with each other. Yeah. And it's been a new journey now, having opened up our own law practice and working together and, sharing a little bit more of ourselves. It's an entirely new thing for us, but I hope that it's been encouraging and helpful for our listeners, for viewers, and that maybe you can identify with some of our stories, some of the struggles, some of the highs, lows. As we've said, we're very much still on our journey. And I hope that through this series that we're doing with my dad, that you can be encouraged as well. And please comment, and we'd love to hear from you all. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. And we hope that this has added something to your day. So take care, and until the next one.